little boy. Oh, he's a good little boy. You're a good little boy. Let me see. Let me put on your ghost costume. You're gonna go out now and you're gonna do trick-or-treating and scare a bunch of Karens. Oh, look how spooky you are. Oh, you're amazing. Off you go.
Good evening, laddies, lasses, and lazzles. Welcome to the click. You smell absolutely astounding today, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Spooky plushies for Halloween? Wow, keep an eye out for that one. But until then, I have another succulent treat for you while waiting for trick-or-treating. That is right. Today we're looking at r/BoomersBeingFools, which is essentially like an internet synonym for just Karen subreddits, I suppose, which is a very entertaining thing to scroll through. The world has truly lost its mind, and we are the only sane ones left. Isn't that amazing? Join my sane cult. Well, sane is a very strong word. Join my sane cult today. Enjoy. Mwah. Boomers selling their homes for $2 million after buying them in 1969 for 7 raspberries. I'm gonna be honest though, if I had that opportunity to get a house, I would probably be dancing like this too. And they got to sink down though. They got some moves though, not gonna lie. Never underestimate some good old boomer riz. Oh my god, that's something I never thought I would say in my life. That's a brand new sentence. I would probably dance like this too if I could buy a house for 7 raspberries. Have you seen the housing prices today? You're lucky to buy a shoebox with 10 roommates. Boomer coworker makes sexist comment, then gets butthurt at my reply. The water bottle that changed my gender. Ooh, is that like included in the product? Let's dig into this, shall we? So, I walk into the break room at work today to fill up my water bottle. Well, actually my partner's water bottle, because I'm trying to stay hydrated, and I just want to chill for my break. While I'm filling the bottle, this old coworker, like 60 to 70 years old, who I barely even know, strolls up and says, "Nice bottle, girl," then snorts at his own lame joke. Like, "Nice bottle, girl." I have hearing issues, so I didn't even catch what he said at first. But this guy decides to tap me on the shoulder with his grubby little pee-pee skinner and repeat his dusty attempt at humor. I am confused, so I look at him and ask, "What are you talking about?" He laughs again and says, "Your bottle. That's a girl's bottle." I ask, "What makes it a girl's bottle?" And as if it's the most obvious thing in the world, he replies, "Well, it's pink." So, still playing dumb, I say, "Well, it's actually pink and blue, but why does it being pink make it a girl's bottle?" By now, his laughing has stopped, and he's looking at me like I'm clueless. He says, Well, pink is a girl color." I hit him back with, "Well, that's totally subjective. Sure, it's got pink on it, but it also has blue. Does that cancel out the pink? Also, I'm a man and I own the bottle, so wouldn't that make it a man's bottle?" He's all pissy now and snaps, "It's still a girl's bottle." So I reply, "That's strange because I own the bottle and use he/him pronouns." Of course, that sets him off. He starts ranting. "Of course, you and your generation wants to rewrite science. No site to use those. You're a guy." Your generation wants to rewrite science. Wait a second. Is he talking about pink water bottles or is he talking about pronouns? I choose to believe that that the science he's talking about is pink plastic bottles being girls. Oh, that's amazing. I just respond calmly. "Then why are you calling me a girl? Seems like you're the one trying to put a spin on things." Ooh, he didn't expect being owned by facts and logic today. Before he can even get another word in, I screw the cap back on the bottle, turn, and walk out. He's left standing there, red-faced and muttering to himself, while I am already out of the door laughing. When in doubt, buzzword it out. I love how it's turning the own logic back at them. "You're the ones wanting to make everything about gender and all that stuff, but if you have a pink bottle, then you're a girl." I mean, I understand, okay, for like the sake of argument, I understand that he meant it more like a sexist insult rather than actually changing someone's gender or whatever, but it's still really funny because it left him very flabbergasted, which goes to show that these people are kind of clueless after all.
Look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again.
Is this AI?
She's destroying this country. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success,
I don't think it is.
Will end up being Venezuela on steroids.
This is real.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of
Oh my god. I should do a bingo card on this. I should do a bingo on this where it's like, oh my god, American politician versus fake tweets versus AI, and you have to guess whether something is a real quote or if it's made up. That would be so funny. That would be so funny because I legitimately cannot tell anymore. This is like watching a bad reality show. Jesus Christ, man.
Dad, I will give you $200 not to vote this year.
No thank you. You have been warned! Wait a second, this clickbait video is not even using a red arrow. I detect trash. Take it, then vote anyway, and don't tell him! Man, this political stuff I see popping up online is so wild and foreign to me, man. It's so wild. The fact that people get so invested about, like, political candidates, of all things. It's so weird, man. Like, for example, I bet the same people would talk trash about, like, a bunch of teenage girls going to a Taylor Swift concert or whatever. Or back in the day whenever all the teenage girls went to Justin Bieber, like, when I was young, you know? They would probably poop all over that. But then they do the same, like, kind of simping, but they're adults. And they do it for, like, some political douchebag that can't even sing. It's like, man, I don't know. The whole thing is just so alien, man. Boomers in church talking about Jesus and kindness. Ah, boomers in my I will get you fired from all the jobs! All of them. Actually, that's like a legitimate threat in the current economy of things. It's like, you have to work 3 jobs to pay a rent, but I'm gonna get you fired from all of them, you stupid child. I miss the America that's not an American flag that I was raised in. The America where your niece's marriage would be illegal and the women in your family couldn't have bank accounts or credit cards in their name without a man? No thanks. Also, that's the Liberian flag. r/accidentally Liberian. Wait, this is a thing? This is so common that it's an entire subreddit. Oh my god, it is! r/accidentally Liberian. For those times when people meant to put in the American flag, but mistakenly use Liberian ones instead. Other flag mix-ups are also welcome. That is so funny. The right nutrition for your dog produced in our Texas-based facility. Here's the flag of Texas, baby. Booyah! Before too long, Biden's gonna change our flag to a rainbow emoji. Rainbow colors, middle finger, Liberian flag. Billy, that flag ain't even the flag of the USA. Bless your heart. Ah, Facebook. It really brings out the best in people. And then you ask, but click, what are they like when they're not on Facebook if this is the best they have to offer? You don't want to know. Peep the new profile picture. God bless America, Liberian flag emojis. Dude, that's the wrong flag. No goddamn fucking comment gotta tell me I'm using the wrong flag. My pawpaw fought in Vietnam. I know what the American flag is. Liberian flags. God bless the US of A. Liberian flag.
Carl, for God's sake, you flushed your brain down the toilet this morning. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh my god, why do people choose to look so embarrassing in a public forum when it's not even in live time? This is like texting. You have time between responding, right? When you can double check the thing you said and see if the person responding actually has a point. But no, instead of double checking your stupid little emoji, you go off on this like roid rage rant while still using the wrong emoji. Oh my god, it's not just stupid, but it's like proudly stupid. It's amazing. It's like confidently incorrect in a nutshell.
American made.
Yeah. YouTube creators, it's almost 4th of July 2018. Who are your favorite American YouTube creators? Liberian flag. That's not even the American flag.
Maybe they're asking the Liberian audience. No, that's perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair.
This hashtag Pride Month, the only pride I need is my pride of the Bible and the red, white, and blue stripes
Liberian flags. That's the flag of Liberia. It just goes on. This is amazing. U.S. Postal Service honoring those who have served our great nation. Oh, I know that was mentally taxing to go through, right? I know it was for me. So now we're gonna switch it off with a little bit of wholesome racism. Whoa.
Your friend is still dating that black guy. Remember, I might be a broken clock, but I'm still right twice a day. Remember what happened to that beautiful white woman, Nicole?
Why would you mention something like that?
If she wants to rebel, there are other ways besides erasing your heritage.
If you think people are dating who they happen to like to rebel against you, I think you have a bit of like a main character syndrome. I don't think it's about you. Wow.
She could create a vermin like Obama.
What does Obama have to do with this? Oh no, she could give birth to a Obama trademark. Whatever that means.
White men won't want her afterwards.
Uh-huh. Why wouldn't they? Why would you care about her dating life? What does Obama have to do with any of this? He was an accomplished man even before becoming president.
He never saw a hot dog he didn't like, let's put it that way.
Wait, I'm supposing you try to say there. Okay, so it's like a gay argument. Is that what you mean? So if your daughter has relations with a black man, they will produce gay Obamas. That's the argument.
What man opens his mouth like that? Here's a picture of
Obama eating a hot dog. Why do you have photos like that on your phone?
Obama loves white peepees. Just see the interview that white man did on Tucker Good Stuff. Slurp, slurp.
Ew, what the hell are you talking about? Wait, is this person just having a bunch of pictures on his phone of Obama eating hot dogs? So whenever someone does like interracial dating or whatever, he sends them pictures of Obama's eating hot dogs and be like, this will be your child. You see this picture of Obama eating a hot dog? You're gonna make a bunch of gay Obamas or something. I couldn't make this up if I tried. This is amazing.
Obama was a gay man, but he also dated white women.
Oh, I see. So this person is both like a raging racist and a homophobe. Man, horrible things do come in tiny packages, don't they?
So who is really Michelle? Perhaps a man.
They're also transvestigating. Oh my god. They're a racist, homophobic transvestigator. Oh, it's real. The Venn diagram is a circle, man. She has children. Also, you're insane. Why do you care about someone else's dating life? And why do you have a bunch of pictures of Obama eating hot dogs?
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my TED Talk, Why Interracial Dating is Bad. Proof number 1, here is a picture of Obama eating a hot dog. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Okay, we got ourselves a little bit of a forest fire. The firemen are out here fighting it, creating like a... And the dude being there like, oh, how could this have happened? This spontaneous forest fire. And then you have this dude smoking, just tossing cigarettes right beside the fireman. Isn't that just some beautiful entitlement? What is nature if not my own personal burning trash can? Ah, Mother Nature is beautiful. Boomers tried to force me to give up my seat on a flight, and then the husband wouldn't let my daughter into the aisle. Over the summer, my daughter, 12F, and I took a trip to Florida. For the flights, I paid extra to select seats so I could sit with my daughter. I also paid for extra legroom. On the flight back, a boomer woman claimed I was in her seat, which was next to her husband. I was sitting in the middle, my daughter was sitting at the window seat, and her husband was in the aisle seat. Anyway, I pulled up my boarding pass and showed her that this was indeed my seat. She said her boarding pass also showed my seat, but wouldn't pull it out. I see, that's the first red flag right there. I assumed the airline must have double booked the seat, giving her way too much benefit of the doubt. So I called over a flight attendant. I explained that this woman says I am in her seat and that she says her boarding pass says my seat. I mean, that's really smart though, just like call in the people actually managing the plane, because then she can't really BS anymore, right? That's what she's trying to do, to like hopefully encounter someone who's too pleasant to take the conflict or dare call her out on her BS. So this is a really good way of just bypassing that. I suppose you could say this is a Karen that had the manager called on her instead. Oh, that is so satisfying. I showed him my boarding pass. He asked to see hers. Her husband handed it to her. It showed a seat in the back of the plane. He said that she is supposed to sit in that seat and not mine, and if she wants my seat, she can ask me. But if I say no, she has to take her seat. She asked me, I said no since I wanted to sit with my child, and I paid extra for this seat. Her and her husband started shouting at me. Her husband called me a frickin' entitled bitch. She said she would sue me if I didn't give up this seat. Oh, that's how you know this post is from America. Oh yeah. I laughed and told her to get out of my face. She called me an entitled, childless cat lady, but
No, I want to keep my seat because I'm sitting right next to my child. Ah! You barren, childless hag! This is my child. What do you mean?
I had my cat with me in a cat backpack under my seat.
Yeah, but you still also have a kid. What do you mean, cat lady?
I said that while I'm a cat lady, I have a child and pointed to my daughter. The flight attendant sternly told her to go to her seat or he would get security. She angrily walked to her seat while flipping me off. I mean, honestly, this behavior alone should have been enough to just get them tossed out from the flight. They are obviously gonna keep causing trouble. During the flight, my daughter had to use the restroom, so she asked me to ask the boomer husband if he could get up so she could walk through. Even with the extra legroom, it was still too tight to walk through. He refused and called me a frickin' C-word. I had to call over a flight attendant who made him get up so she could get out of her seat. Boomers are such entitled idiots. Oh my god, fam. And I mean, to be fair, what makes this story so hilariously entitled, if you read between the lines, is that they weren't willing to ask the person where the woman was sitting to switch seats instead. Why were they only asking the people behind the husband that had the fancier seats, but they weren't willing to ask the people beside the wife that had the worse seats, so to say? That's a little bit of food for thought. So he'd rather sit there and be petty and shitty to a child the whole flight instead of just flipping the seats with the one who sits next to the wife. But then he wouldn't have to give up the legroom, I suppose. So that's not an option, which is absolutely astounding. That would have been such an easy fix if your main priority is to sit next to your wife. Absolutely astoundingly entitled people. Oh my god.
Is misleading where it says search results for Baron Trump sings about his dad.
Yeah, so that's not real. That was a robot that was singing.
But that is Baron Trump's image. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
So how did your music?
This is why our species is going to shit. You know, when I always see those AI images from Facebook and it's like, you know, please, like, I am a veteran and it's my birthday and no one wished me a Merry Christ. And then they're sitting in the middle of the street with a birthday cake and like 5 prosthetic limbs, right? You know those pictures. And somehow they always have like 90,000 likes. This is why people genuinely cannot tell what is real and what isn't. Their argument is literally, but it's his face. It has to be real. Oh my god, this is absolutely ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Honestly, I think the best and most efficient way you could explain this to your grandparents that don't understand this kind of stuff is to just take a quick video or picture of themselves, toss it into an AI generator in a situation or saying something that they obviously haven't said, and just show it back to them. Like, I never said that. Yeah, you see, that's how easy it is to generate this garbage nowadays. I think that's a very pragmatic way of showing how easily things are manipulated nowadays. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe we need to do this. We need to have like AI awareness courses. Oh my god, I legit think that would be a good idea. Like courses for people above a certain age to be able to tell the difference between AI generated and not AI generated. You remember those courses we used to have in school about like source critiquing and stuff, right? To make sure a source is legitimate and real and find a second source that agrees with the first one, all that kind of stuff. We need to do that, but for AI and for boomers. I legitimately think this would be a net positive for the world. A boomer commanded me to watch his bag at the airport and then left. It was 2021 and was headed out west. While we were lined up to board, the boomer in front of me turned around to face me.
Coffee, watch my bag.
Now, I know I'm not the only one who's seen the multitude of signs in airports warning people to avoid just that. I replied, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. He scowled and clicked his tongue at me. Bag. After a moment of silent stares, I said, Sir, I will not be responsible for your luggage. He pointed at the suitcase while walking away and said, Watch it. I'm not sure if he expected me to bring his luggage with me in line as we were literally boarding the flight, but I obviously continued without it. The line cleared out and there his bag sat, unattended at the airport. I was one of the last people to board, so several minutes later when he returned, I was still queued. He pointed in front of me and shoved himself between me and a barrier to get back in front. I told him he needed to work on his airport etiquette, but he completely ignored me and carried on with his painfully unaware boomer bliss. Not even joking, you should have alerted security that there was an unattended bag. This, boomer or not, an unattended bag is a very real threat at an airport. Yeah, leaving bags like this in airports is a big no-no. And I mean, you would probably call security mainly for the petty reasons, but it is like a very big danger no-no. So it would be very much justified, to be fair. I mean, you can ask people to watch your stuff. You know, if it's like you're sitting alone in a restaurant and you have your jacket on your chair and it's like, oh, can you watch my jacket while I go to the bathroom real quick? Stuff like that is fine. And you do it pleasantly and you ask and that kind of stuff. You don't command people to do it, and you don't command people to break like serious airport security rules on your behalf. Come on, fam. Mystic, Connecticut. I'm more surprised about the woman next to it that is just very confidently posing with with this fit. That is great. Man, the unawareness is absolutely astounding. They know what the outfit means, right? A boomer man refusing to let me interrupt him from talking to my minor daughter. This happened about a year and a half ago. My daughter, then 17, and I stopped to get gas at a gas station. My daughter offered to pump the gas, so I was sitting in the driver's seat, and the passenger side window was down. Cue the boomer 6065M coming over to talk to my daughter. He starts off pretty close to her, in her personal space. He is making small talk, complimenting the car and whatnot. I see my daughter put her hand inside the window and waving to me. She hates confrontation, and she tends to try not to hurt anyone's feelings, so she didn't speak up for herself in this instance. I mean, to be fair, that can also be really scary. You know, a young girl and a strange man, probably bigger than she is, coming up and being way too close to begin with. Like, a lot of people would be hesitant to potentially escalate a situation like that. So getting assistance is perfectly valid. I mean, I'm assuming the guy is also gonna be a coward based on where the story is going, but still, you never know. Being worried and not wanting to deal with it completely solo is very, very understandable as well. So as I saw her wave, I get out of the car and say, "Come on, sweetie, it's time to go." I shit you not, this boomer had the audacity to say to me, "I'm talking to her, you can get back in the car." Oh, don't you just hate it, fellow boomers, when you're just rizzing up a minor and their mom has the audacity to interrupt you? Oh, disgusting cock-blocking. I responded with, "What the f***? You are talking to my minor child and tell me to leave. Are you some pervert who won't leave a child alone?" He mumbled under his breath, and there was something about not being respectful to him. Obvious, because he was so respectful to begin with. I just talked over his mumbling with, "Stop making young girls uncomfortable, you creep." He waddled himself back over to his car. I have never been so angry at a boomer as I was in that moment. My daughter told me she didn't want to be disrespectful, but he wouldn't stop talking to her and was getting way too close. Since then, she definitely has found her voice and doesn't take crap anymore. I am just literally appalled by the entitlement of these older men and them feeling entitled to talk to and intimidate young girls. It is so gross. Please teach your daughter it's okay to be rude to strangers. My mom is boomer age, but not a boomer. She instilled in me from a very young age that you don't owe a stranger anything when they are up in your business and making you uncomfortable. That's actually a pretty good takeaway, yeah. If they initiate and they don't treat you with the basic respect they would expect in return, you don't have to respect them either in that way, because they have already crossed the line in the initiation of this engagement. Then of course it can still be very scary, like strangers, especially if they're older and bigger than you are, can be very intimidating, and therefore it's understandable to like want backup in these situations. But as far as like owing it to someone on a moral basis, that is an absolutely valid point. You don't. Good on you, OP, for speaking up in front of your daughter. Encourage her to do the same if she's ever uncomfortable. I was approached by creepy old men way too frequently when I was a minor, and it continued into adulthood. These gross predators need to know it won't be tolerated, and if you can be loud and embarrass them, even better. Yeah, that is even better. Social pressure is something that most people fold under. And one thing I've realized too is that most of these people, it's not like they are like clueless, innocent little beings that just happen to get a little bit too close. They do this on a repeated basis. They are crossing this boundary because they don't believe it's a boundary to begin with. So you can be damn sure they do this to a lot of people. This is something you start noticing as well. For example, if you're responsible for bartending or, for example, parties. I experienced this a lot in my student days, for example, that one occasion I distinctly remember we had this very nice party and the group was relatively close. You know, it was like a bunch of friends that knew each other and some +1 and extra friends, but usually very chill environment, right? Very nice and safe, chill environment. But then all of a sudden, girls started coming up to us and they said like, "Hey, we're feeling uncomfortable. Like it's very touchy here tonight. And we're like, what? This never happens here. This is wild. So of course we start investigating a bit, and turns out it's all the same dude. It's all the same drunk asshole troublemaker who's been going around like touching up everyone. You know, he starts with the first person, and when they slide away, he just goes to the next one because he doesn't have the boundary, so he just keeps doing it over and over and over again until we literally throw him out. So, repeat offenders is definitely a thing, so don't feel bad about standing up to these sort of people, because it's not like it's an accident. It really isn't. They don't respect the boundary, and that's why they did it, and that's why they will probably do it again. It is astounding to see.
That's what weeks after they're born, you can kill them.
I'm sorry, I gotta.
What?
You're saying that in California you can kill a newborn baby up to 4 weeks until after it's born?
Absolutely.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
The law in the last year or two.
That is not true. That's not true.
You need to go do your research.
100% not true.
You need to do your
Where
research.
did you read that? Be honest.
National news media.
Facebook.
Post-birth abortion. Can you tell me where you read it?
It's been a while.
I've read it so many places I can't name them all, no.
It's hard to name them all right now.
Facebook. All of them are Facebook. Man, I cannot believe there are people that actually believe this. I thought this was just a joke we cracked in like insane parent videos. You know, it's like, Timmy, if you don't behave now, I'll have to abort you, and be like, Mom, I'm 20 years old. You know, that kind of joke. Oh my God, it's not even a joke anymore. When did jokes turn into reality? What the fuck? The Wall Street Journal. Baby boomers are hitting prime grandparenting age. Only there is a problem. A smaller share of them have grandkids than before, and they are not thrilled about it. Americans are having fewer babies, so fewer people get to be grandparents. Wait, that's the... That's the priority. The headline isn't like, why aren't millennials and older Zoomers having more babies? Oh, maybe it's the economy, maybe it's housing, maybe it's a bunch of different... No. Poor grandparents, or would-be grandparents. I think you missed a step in your logic there. What the frick, Grandpa P-word. Today I took my 15-year-old and her 3 friends to the pool. About a mile away is a grocery store. We stopped on our way to pick up some lunch. I say to them, ladies, make sure you have your shirts and shoes. We all have pool cover-ups and flip-flops. I am walking 5 feet behind them as they pass Grandpa, who is talking to a mid-20s male. I don't hear what he says, but I see him watch them and then stare at their rears. Then he smiles at the young guy and says, it's even better from behind. I look at him and say loudly, sir, they are 15 years old. 15! You are disgusting. He stutters and tries to make some excuses. I had already begun to walk away, so I turned and yelled back at him, 15! You're a disgusting P-word, just stop! And then I left him standing there. I think he was shocked, like no one ever called him out on his locker room talk. Why on earth do they think they can say that poo in public? In front of strangers, no less. Edited to add, people are brutal, apparently disagreeing about the distinction between a P-word and some other subcategory that might be well called old pervs who like not quite legal teens. Get your profile locked, also I am mean and farming for likes, noted. Yeah, the best take I saw about this whole thing was a stand-up comedian that said like, oh yeah, technically the P-word is people that like people that are prepubescent. It's like 12 or younger or something like that. And then you have like the files, I don't remember exactly the word, that is like between 13 and 15 or something. And then you have the Schmerman files, which is 15 to 70, you know, something like that. But then you can't really make this argument without sounding like a P-word. And that's why you don't. And I think that's the best takeaway from this kind of thing. Like, sure, you can argue, I don't know, linguistic semantics or whatever, but you're still just a creep. And making that argument makes you just sound like a creep trying to justify why their creepiness isn't that bad. You know? Bruh. A boomer constantly misgenders coworker, gets fired for it. This happened a few years ago, and it still steams my hands. I had a coworker who was an absolute Amazon of a woman. She is 6'3", muscular, and has a mohawk. She is actually taller than me. Oh my god, I almost never encounter that, and the mohawk probably adds a bit of height as well. Oh my. She was also one of the sweetest, most giving people you could ever hope to meet. I am proud to call her my friend. But because of her height, lack of curves, and daring hairstyle, she would be misgendered a lot. She is not trans, she is 100% born with installed factory parts. Her 2 kids are testament to this. Let's call her Kate. There was an older asshole who worked as a greeter, would call him Dick. Fitting name, and decided that he took particular joy in calling her Sir. Every time he saw her, he would just go off on some verbal diarrhea.
Hello, sir. How are you, sir? It's a lovely day, isn't it, sir?
Man, some people never grow past the 10-year-old bully face of their life, do they? This is what people used to do when they tried to be like quirky bullies when I was like 10 to 11 years old. That is amazing. He would chortle to himself like he was so utterly clever. Myself and other coworkers would just tell him he wasn't funny. She was a woman and would you please shut the hell up? While Kate just suffered in silence. She had been misgendered for years, simply because she didn't conform to the standards of Western feminine beauty. For the record, Kate is a strong ally of the LGBTQ+ community, but it was just so tiresome. A group of us complained to management, because otherwise we were gonna beat the hell out of an 80-year-old douche canoe. The store manager sat Dick down and told him to cut that poo out. But since he had been with the company for years, he figured he was untouchable. He just continued to blather on, even coming up to Kate while she was on a break and asking,
"So, how are you today, sir? Man, I bet you just feel fantastic with the chains, don't you, sir?"
Cue surprised Pikachu face when Dick was canned. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Dick died a couple years later, and I could not feel any less about it. Yeah, he just sounds like someone who peaked when he was 10 years old, and he was that like insufferable bully that thinks they're funny, but they really aren't, and then he just magically never grew out of that phase. It's amazing that he maintained like, 10-year-old mentality for the next 70 years of his life. That is like sort of impressive in a really pathetic way.
Paperwork done, and I need to get out of here. It doesn't work like that. It takes days. I want to talk to the manager.
Want to talk to the manager? Okay.
Hi, how can I help you? What the is your problem?
Oh, that's the funniest shit ever. She waited this moment her entire life.
Yachts. Does it look like you have yachts? I see them all around there.
Oh my god, that's the best thing ever.
I see them.
Oh my god, I want to start my own business just so I can do this.
There's no money here at this restaurant. I guess we don't. Well, what the hell are you doing? You cannot record me. That is against my HIPAA law.
Against my HIPAA law. Okay, when it gets that ridiculous, I'm starting to get a 50-50 vibe if it's staged or not. It's just like, it's like, what are you doing there? It seems a bit like too scripted, you know what I mean? The vibe feels scripted. It may not be, Karens can be like this in real life. And I also love the argument where it's like, oh, you don't have any yachts, but there are yachts out there. And the response was, those are privately owned yachts. And be like, oh, why aren't you giving me other people's boats? A bit 50-50 on if it's staged or not, but man, that is so funny. I want to start my own business just so I can do this. Caught between boomers in line. I, a millennial, went to the grocery store to grab a case of beer. Because it's alcohol, I could not use self-checkout, so I stepped into the express line. At the front of the line is a person with a full cart, mid-transaction, who ignored the 15 items or less. It happens. Oh well. There is a boomer with a cart with just 2 cases of bottled water, and then me. Another boomer comes up behind me with just a gallon of milk in hand. He looks at me, sees I have just one thing, and moves on to the boomer ahead of me. He asks if he can cut them because he just has one thing. Oh, so skipping you as well? Like conveniently, like asking the other person to speak for the entire line? Oh, that's convenient. Water boomer responds, no. Milk boomer gets huffy and begins arguing. Water boomer gives it right back. Oh, yes, indeed. The grocery store toddlers are right at it. They seriously debate who should go first around me, as if I am not there. So I decide to interject as obnoxiously as possible. Milk boomer says, well, my wife is waiting in the car and I can't make her wait for XYZ reasons. Water boomer says, well, my dog is waiting in the car and he can't wait for XYZ reasons. I interject, well, I have a hooker waiting in the car and she charges $300 an hour. They had no idea what to say. Shut them both up. That is amazing. You see, this is what I strongly believe in when it comes to these kind of like really stupid conflicts. If you just flabbergast a person, just one-up them, they will shut up. It's the same thing with like conspiracy stuff. It's like, oh, you believe in the moon? He's like, haha, you believe in the moon? It just shuts them the hell up. Just make something way more insane than whenever they are arguing about. And if they think that you are more bonkers than they are, they will back right off. It is absolutely beautiful. I was helping my brother, very late boomer, move pieces of furniture out of my mom's condo after she passed. We took a coffee table down to the garage room, and once we set it down, he starts stomping on the legs and breaking them. I asked what the frick he was doing, and he said, if it's broken, nobody else will be able to use it. What? I thought at least it would be an argument like, oh, we're taking it to the dump, so we're breaking pieces off to make more of it fit in the back of the car or something. No, you're just breaking it so no one else can... Wow. I was dumbfounded. I told him if he was going to do this to everything else, I wasn't helping him anymore. The building is home to a lot of people with very little income or new to the country. Why deny someone a free table when you're literally throwing it out? He grumbled that people can just buy their own stuff. Weird. That is so weird. One thing we used to do when I was a student, and you live in like these student corridors and stuff with like one-room apartments, is that when you move out and you have some furniture you're not taking with you, but it's still in decent condition, you just put it out in the hallway somewhere. And someone else who's like a new student will happily grab it because they're a student and they're broke and they're already paying rent and stuff. It's like, oh, a nice free IKEA bookshelf. Yoink! It is amazing. And when they move out, if it's still in good shape, they will put it back out. So like goes in generations between students. People just save money and environment. Isn't that beautiful? Obviously, this person doesn't agree, but it is a beautiful thing and something that we all should do. Ooh, we got some spooky vibes. Something is really spooky. Oh no, it's the neighborhood Karen. Aw, damn.
So
here we go.
I'm going to ask you to keep them inside.
For what reason?
So I am the president of the POA.
Oh, the president of the Homeowners.
Complaint. Numerous.
They're being kids.
I have like 10 houses now contacted.
Okay.
They're like barking at me and running.
Kids running outside. Oh no.
This world, because people like you and those other people don't let kids be kids, okay? So we appreciate you stopping by. We appreciate you stopping by. Have a nice night.
I love the dad just shutting that shit down though. That is so satisfying. I don't believe for a second that 10 houses called her. She made that up on the spot. The kids were there and she instantly came marching over. You really believe that 10 neighbors were bothered enough by some kids playing in their backyard that they called the homeowner association lady that probably no one likes? Do you think anyone would report anything to this lady? Let's be actually for real. 69-year-old Raiders owner Mark said his 26-year-old girlfriend didn't know he was a billionaire. She was just attracted to his beautiful smile. It wasn't the haircut that did it? Okay.
Here is a thought for the millennials. If you want any of your parents' inheritance to be left for you, vote carefully in November.
I'm really glad you don't speak for most people's parents. Dear God, what an unpleasant person. I made a boomer feel uncomfortable. First off, I am a 42M. I was standing in line waiting to pay for my item. I had been standing in the same spot for about a minute when a male boomer, with his Trump hat on, came up and literally stood about an inch from me. He was so close I could feel his breath on my neck. Effing gross. That is also so weird. Why does this boomer want to be so close to strangers? Typically a human instinct is to not be that close to strangers because of, I don't know, I think it's just instinctual that like disease or whatever, but alright. There was no one else behind him, so I turned to act like I was looking for something, and as I turned, our hands graced. I looked at him, and he looked at me. I smiled and gave him my, hey there, sexy look. He looked mortified and quickly backed away about 5 feet. I've only seen a few people look that uncomfortable, and I am glad he is one of them. I hope he learned his lesson on giving people their personal space. That is also what I find so incredibly funny about these sort of people. They will invade your space and like literally breathe down your neck without thinking twice. But the moment someone is like, oh my God, a little bit gay or whatever. Oh my God, I'll run away. Oh, I'm so sensitive. Oh, I'm not a snowflake, but I'm really sensitive. It's so funny. It is so funny to me that the people who are like the most eager to invade personal spaces are also the most sensitive. It is amazing.
I dare all supporters of destructive policies of liberal Democrats for twacks to 2 weeks. Watch only Noisex. Newsex? Is that a Newsex? Fox News. I guess it's supposed to say Fox News. AMVD or CEN? CWN? I don't know. For your news, or are you afraid of the truth? The bar is pretty low for protest signs, right? This is the worst shit I've ever seen. It's so incoherent. And the handwriting sucks. You couldn't even do a quirky design for it. Bruh, or just print it. He looks so grumpy.
This guy pranked me in the aisle here. He's videotaping me. No, I think I want to file a report.
There's something to file a report about. There's somebody, I'm a somebody is able to pull up to you in a public parking lot, roll his window down, video record you, and then drive away, there's nothing illegal about that. They're having fun and just joking around.
He looks so grumpy.
So a kid can have fun.
What?
You're saying this kid can have fun.
100% he's allowed to have fun. Why wouldn't he be allowed?
This kid can have fun. Oh, this child here driving their own car can have fun. I can't call the cops on kids having fun. Disgusting. I do wonder what the actual prank is, though. Is the prank just that the dude was filming, or is it one of those, like, he didn't return his shopping cart and those kind of things? Or is it an actual insufferable TikTok prank, which in that case it would be a pretty valid response, but it's so hilarious that, oh, I found this person in the parking lot mildly annoying, let me call the cops. That's like, let me speak to the manager, but like on a legal level. I saw this guy outside the middle school today. Sodomy is a sin. What's wrong with these people? Why disrupt middle school drop-off with this mess? Ah, sodomy is a sin. That beautiful thing to, like, go to a school full of minors to shove in their face. That is, beautiful.
Yep, I remember my 6-shooter cap guns. Remember when this was normal behavior for little boys.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I had, like, toy guns and stuff when I was a kid. We had it, what's it called? Knallpulver. It's like poofy powder you put inside this fake gun. It's like a pew, pew, pew. It goes off with a little pop. It's very cute, and it creates, like, smoke and stuff. It was very badass.
When my great-grandpappy was young, he killed Indian families for real. It was heritage, not hate.
I'm sorry, what? Did you just say that murdering others was your heritage? Okay, Boomer, that's enough Facebook. Now get into the forever box. How could you say this with a straight face? That is absolutely nuts. Yeah, you know, when my great-grandpappy was murdering people, that was just heritage. One I am weirdly proud of. It wasn't bad or anything like that. Bruh, or, oh my god, fam. Oh my god. So here's this person with his profile picture, what's it called on Facebook, refacing something. The Gaily Grind. Happy Gay Uncle Day. Happy Gay Uncle's Day.
You're a sick man!
With the wrong "your" and also responding to his own post. He must have accidentally reposted this and then seen it on his timeline because he reposted it himself accidentally. And there's like, oh, my grandpa posted a pic of a gay uncle's day and he got mad at himself in the comments. This is peak boomer Facebook. This is so good. I am outraged. These are the transgender illegal alien Trump is talking about. Look at this. Oh my god, how could they let this happen? No. Am I the only one who kind of wants a mod for alien isolation, where all the aliens just wear like snazzy little skirts and like thigh highs? You cannot tell me I'm the only one, okay?
Somewhere between 1955 and 2023, things went terribly wrong.
So you have a black and white picture of James Dean, and then some random dude on a scooter just heading to the office. I'm gonna be honest, you're also like comparing heckin' James Dean to just some random person in a stock photo. You know, it's like, you can probably find, you know, modern equivalent comparisons as well, if you want to compare, like, you know, super popular actor / model or whatever.
Oh, it's your little Kit Kat. She must have heard cats are being eaten and it scared her. Thank goodness she is safe in Blorp.
Yeah, I've been trying to get her to stay off those weird conspiracy sites, but you know, she's only 2 and mostly white, so it's been a struggle. Wait a second. Is this person, the first person replying, are they suggesting the cat is going around being scared because the cat has read Facebook posts about pets being eaten? These people are going around and be like, the pets are so scared because now they're literate for some reason. This is insane. What are these arguments, man? Oh my god. Ah, yes indeed. I feel like my brain has melted into a sweet, sweet puddle. Isn't that beautiful? And I hope yours melted too, and you can enjoy that, like, freedom feeling of not having any thoughts and brain empty of smudge. And I do hope to see you again in the very near future for our next brain smush session. And until then, have an amazing rest of your day, wonderful, beautiful bean, and take care. Mwah.